furious, and tonight they'll go for it for 200 laps. Hi, everybody. I'm Larry Naston. I'll be bringing you all the action, along with Lee Elder, the NASCAR Public Relations Director for the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour and NASCAR Winston West. We'll be joined by Barry McKeever in the pits, and it's going to be an exciting race. The qualifying speeds were up, the track is cool, and now the speeds are expected to climb. So stay tuned to Speed Vision as we bring you the CarQuest 200 from Mason. Number 9 car, Bill Sedgwick from Granada Hills, California. In row number 2, Gary Smith. He's been hot of late, the 45 out of Malahat, British Columbia, Canada. And on the inside of him, number 07, the rookie Sean Woodside out of Saugus, California. On the Busch front row, it's number 75, the kid from Bakersfield, California, Kevin Harvick in the Spears Motorsports Chevrolet Monte Carlo. And on the pole, the Busch Bowl winner, number 38, Butch Gilliland of Anaheim, California. The field getting ready to go for what seems to be always a great race here at Mesa Marin. We're glad you can join us at Speed Vision. The lights are out on the pace car, and Lee, it's now Butch Gilliland's responsibility to bring them down for the start of this CarQuest 200.
This looks like one of the best Winston West fields we've ever had here at Mesa Marin. You have to take a look also at the rear, because some of the guys that qualified well had to go to the back after a problem during the day.
So Butch Gilliland now controls things and gets on the Strong Motorsports Ford Thunderbird heavy and jumps out to a big lead. Butch Gilliland is your leader. Right behind him, Kevin Harvick in the Spears Manufacturing Chevrolet. Gilliland jumps out to a pretty sizable lead coming out of turn number 2.
That talk about the voice of experience. He knew when to go. Got the green, obviously, from his spotter and took off.
And Kevin Harvick now being chased by Sean Woodside in the Cinema Vehicle Services Pontiac Grand Prix. That's the car that won the championship, and already a car going sideways up in turn number 3 and spun around. Now comes Gary Smith, who has been on a tear. He has finished every lap, finished every race. He is the point leader, and Bill Sedgwick, number 9, runs right behind him, and they're chasing the kid from Bakersfield 200. Now you see Gary Smith starting to move up, and he is taking Bill Sedgwick with him, and they go around the number 6 car of Pappy Pryor. Pappy Pryor, of course, a longtime Winston West competitor, and Gary Smith, a brand new competitor to the races. In fact, he's a rookie, and on top of the point standings right now. He is very, very good in that race car. And of course, that's the same car that Ron Hornaday drove at Sears Point, and he has also driven it in several other Winston West races. So Bill Strasser, the crew chief and owner, has put a lot of different people in that car, Lee. It's time to really start thinking about a game plan to go to the front and stay there. Larry Gunselman and the Olson Technology Race Stuff Ford out in front of the hot young rookie from Canada, number 45, Gary Smith.
And I'm wondering also if we don't have a situation where some of the cars feel they are done with the pits unless there's another extended yellow, and maybe they can go the distance. Strategy a big part in this Winston West Series.
92 laps remain in the CarQuest 200. Larry Gunselman, your new leader. Spot number 2 belongs to the 45 of Gary Smith, and they continue to be separated by no more than 2 car lengths going down the back straightaway. Now, Gunselman has led here before and led deep. He's also won here before, so he's no stranger, going to have to work. And Gary Smith again takes a look underneath the 37 of Larry Gunselman.
Gary Smith is an interesting guy. He lists his hometown as Malahat, British Columbia. He said that the town he lives in is actually so small they use the name Malahat because that's a little bigger town down the road. He says everybody knows Malahat.
And right now everybody knows Gary Smith as he takes his number 45 Tootsie Toy Monte Carlo right to the inside of Gunselman. Gunselman got very loose coming out of 2, and Gary Smith had a good line. Gunselman again pushes up to the racetrack, and here comes Kevin Harvick.
3 wide down the front stretch. Kevin Harvick, we thought earlier, might have been the quickest car on the racetrack. I think that's the case again. He's going to try and go 3 deep. Wow.
Very, very precarious situation that Kevin Harvick has put himself in. He is all over Larry Gunselman, but meanwhile, your lead car is number 45, Gary Smith. Gary Smith continuing to be on a roll, the NASCAR Winston West Series. He's finished every lap of competition, thus the point leader, and he's finished very high at most races. In fact, has won a couple of them this year.
I think that Gunselman is getting a little loose. It just seems to be the way that his car is reacting. See how Harvick's able to get under him. I also want to note that Gary Smith has won 2 pole positions this year, but not in the NASCAR Winston West Series. He's won 2 in the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour Series.
Gary Smith, again, running a great race. We're 116 laps into a 200-lapper. Gary Smith out in front of Larry Gunselman. Kevin Culver is in third. Butch Gilliland in fourth. And the 07 of Sean Woodside, because if he doesn't, he's going to have to run the car very hard, and we're still a long ways away from the finish. Tires are a concern. Gary Smith continues to lead the CarQuest 200, and relatively unchallenged. Smith was not in the front. He was in the top 5 most of the evening, and then made his charge to the front with Larry Gunselman. He dispatched Gunselman, went to the lead, and now Gunselman sits in spot number 2 with Butch Gilliland in the 3rd spot. Sean Woodside in spot number 4, and in spot number 5, it's Bill.
By the way, if the name Gary Smith, or I should say Smith, is familiar, it ought to be. His father is Roy Smith, who won a lot of races in the NASCAR Winston West Series, and in fact is one of the great names of the past from this series. And there's no question that racing runs in the family with that bunch.
Move on Gary Smith, so Woodside making his way up as he dives underneath Gary Smith, and Woodside again showing a very strong car. And this time, Lee, he dispatched, or at least got in the position to dispatch Gary Smith rather easily.
I think Smith was credited with leading that lap, but I don't think that's going to be the case next time by.
Sean Woodside was
third and fourth race for the Winston West. These are 1979, 1980, 1981, and 1988.